Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to the EZPZ show, our first episode. You can find this episode and every episode from now on any platform that you usually stream podcasts from, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. My name is Zach. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Peyton and Caleb. And yes, this is the Easy Peasy Show. We're here to talk about mainly sports, anything that's trending nowadays, though, anything that garners our interest. We're easily entertained fellas. I would say we're casual sports followers, but that would be a lie. We are diehards, especially specific teams that you will soon find out. Like I said, my name is Zach. To introduce myself a little bit, I'm mainly into the NBA and the NFL. I'm a big professional sports guy. I also follow Formula One racing pretty closely. But I'm not limited to that. Really, the only thing I struggle following is baseball. But thankfully, a partner in crime, Peyton here, he even played collegiate baseball, so he should have us covered there on that end. I played football in high school, like any other normal guy in the U.S. Got injured. I'll talk about it for years, just like any other guy in the U.S. And so that's a little bit about me. I'm going to kick it to Peyton. He's going to introduce himself.
Yeah, that injury kept you at the lead.
Sure did. Would have went pro,
No, yeah, everybody says it. So, my name's Peyton. Like Zach said, I'm a huge sports fan. Really into basically everything. Baseball is my forte, like Zach was saying. Football, I'm heavily into UFC.
UFC, good one.
Started getting into hockey a little bit this past season. Go Cats!
Mm-hmm.
My honorary team of the year. I guess I'll just pick another team each year until I really solidify one team.
Not a bad idea.
Basketball, but mostly I'm mostly into collegiate sports, while Zach here is more so into professional sports. I can't really describe why I'm so much more into college sports. I guess maybe because of the amateurism. I like a faster paced game. Maybe I really don't know. But I am into it pretty heavily, to say the least. I really get into them. So I'll be able to talk about all things college sports. Even found myself watching some tennis last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say.
Wimbledon. I mean, hey, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I watched the final. It was actually a pretty good match between Alcaraz and Djokovic. So it was nice to see. It was almost like a changing of the torch type of moment in tennis. And although I'm not heavily into tennis, I could respect that.
Yeah, you can still appreciate it. And that's the beauty about sports. It's just. Something about it that everyone can relate to. And I mean, it really is such a beautiful thing.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that's why everybody rallies around sports so much. Is there's so many feel-good moments. There's so many, like I just said, passing the torch type of moments. Like maybe a Brady to Mahomes passing the torch moment in that Super Bowl. I know Mahomes didn't come out on top, but kind of a transfer of the power, that was Tom Brady's last Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was solidifying that he's here to stay. Things like that. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Caleb.
Thanks. I'm Caleb. Just like those guys were saying, I'm a big fan of sports as well. I'm more inside of the professional world. I like the NFL, the NBA. Not going to be a regular on the show, however. Just here for the first episode. Going to be more of the behind-the-scenes type of guy. But I will definitely be making some appearances, and I look forward to having some heated debates in the future.
Well said. Very PC way to put it. And as Caleb, I appreciate it. And now, as Caleb said, he's definitely he is going to be a regular on the show, just not as much as me and Peyton will be. So get familiar to all of our voices, and I'll explain here you know, why we started this. This is essentially us. I mean, we have casual conversations all the time. We figured, why not? Like any other good thing, put this out on the internet for other people to hear, other people to enjoy. We enjoy hearing other people's takes. Hopefully, our listeners, we can get some of y'all's feedback and we can get into arguments with y'all on Twitter. We thrive off of that. We each got about 20 burners. So we leave no stone unturned. So yes, when the world seems like it's against you, just know it's probably just all of our burners. But no, and also
That huge choice.
Oh man, yeah, don't get me started on that, dude. That's for another day. But we really enjoy sports. We enjoy talking about it, and so we figured, hey, let's essentially just get a little meeting of the minds here going. Get it recorded, get it out there into the world. And the EZPZ show is actually a branch, if you will, of a bigger idea called Sportasonic. And you can follow us on all of our social medias for both the EZPZ show and Sportasonic with the handles. For Sportasonic, it's at Sportasonic. And you'll see if you follow us there, we usually capture breaking news. We like to post funny sports videos. Just generally speaking, we like to entertain people. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Bringing enjoyment to other people's lives and having that kind of fun that everyone so desires. And, as far as goals for this podcast are concerned, I'm not really sure there is an end goal. Like I said, we're really just doing this for the fun of it. Obviously, we'd love to grow. We'd love to be as huge as possible, even knock off some of the bigger names. Who knows? We'll remain optimistic around here. Maybe we'll become the number one podcast in the nation one day. And obviously, that starts with all of our listeners, all of you out there listening. And trust us, you tuning into this episode where you just have, you like to have something running in the background, or you are, genuinely here to hear about sports, some sports takes, some, debates. I can't come up with any more rhymes, but anyways, so I'm not sure that we have really any set goals other than to have fun and bring you guys some enjoyment in your lives.
Yeah, even if this podcast doesn't even reach 10 people and, we keep going, at least it's entertaining for us to get out here and share our opinions with everybody that's listening. I'm sure I have some strong opinions that a lot of people will disagree on. Likewise, Zach and Caleb. So we're just going to enjoy getting them out there.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're having these conversations anyway. So like Zach said, we figured, why not put it on the internet? So we definitely want to hear what all of you have to say about our thoughts and what we have to say about the world of sports.
Yes, absolutely. Well said, gentlemen. And, obviously we talk about sports in a general sense, but obviously we're going to, in some cases, go more in depth, especially, if there's, I mentioned it earlier, but breaking news, whether or not that breaking news is, an athlete's passing or, a passing of the torch that Peyton was touching on earlier.
An athlete passing like DeAndre Hopkins signing with the Titans.
Yeah, that's just very unfortunate what he did to his career, but sometimes it's all about the money. And hey, you're an athlete. You have props to you. I know I'm not in a position to speak on that, but other than to say that's so stupid. He should have signed with the Ravens, but anyways, but yeah, we won't just be covering like scores and stuff. We'll also be talking about technology within sports. We'll probably cover some fantasy sports here and there. We're big fantasy guys, or at least I am. I'm really into it this year. We got a new dynasty league going with me, Caleb, and 18 other guys. So you got 10-team dynasty going, and you can ask Caleb. I'm pretty into it, to say the least. It's it's a lot of fun. I take it very seriously, and I picture myself as what's the dude's name on draft day? I think the actor's name is Kevin Costner, but they call him Sonny on there or something. I picture myself as a general manager of a big league, and it's a lot of fun. Anyways, moving on, we'll also be talking about, if I haven't mentioned it already, sports betting. Pretty big in the world right now, obviously. And with that being said, and we'll say it every time before we talk about sports betting, is bet responsibly. Please do not take our picks and our advice as, let's throw our life savings on it. Let's get a new Camaro. Let's get a couple of house notes out the way. Let's listen to these guys, because at the end of the day, I mentioned it, we are casual sports followers. We may be passionate, but we're not professionals.
Next week.
And
we will not give you your money back.
Pretty much. Not like we're running a sports book over here, but we like to make money. Any bet that I'd make, obviously in my head, I think it's a genius move. But I bet my apps will tell me I'm probably, I've only probably won about 30% of my bets. But so be it. I have fun. Once again, that's a word I'm going to be using a lot because that's what I like to have. And so yeah, that's really. Did I miss anything, fellas? I mean, I feel like that's just a general coverage of what our show is going to be about.
Yeah, I think you hit all the topics. I mean, just to go back to what this is, all in a bigger, broader picture and kind of understand where I am behind the scenes. You mentioned Sportasonic. That's kind of where I'm going to be at, trying to help that along and make that grow as fast as possible, and definitely come on the show as much as possible to talk about Sportasonic.
Yeah, and I guess I'll start the first episode telling everybody who my teams are, so y'all can either respect it or flame me.
Go ahead, to the first one.
LSU's a big one, guys. Born and raised in Baton Rouge, went to high school on LSU's campus. Huge LSU fan, like I said, more college and professional fan here. But obviously, I love my Saints. I love my Pelicans. Favorite fighter, Dustin Poirier. Got to give it to him. He's a dog in that octagon, man.
He's for that CT belt pretty soon against Gaethje. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, put the mortgage on Poirier there. I like the Florida Panthers in hockey. That remains to be seen if that's a permanent location that I'm.
Hey, Baton Rouge got a team coming. I'm just saying, the Zydeco, baby. Hey, let's get hot. We're going to be in the NHL soon.
NHL. I just visited Nashville, and they had a really nice arena, so maybe I'll push it up and become a Preds fan. Well, then maybe I'll keep shopping. I don't know. The Astros are my team in the MLB. I know everybody's going to say trash cans or cheaters or whatever, but 2017 World Champs. Either way you want to flip the coin. 2022 World Champs. I'm sorry.
Casual.
Been probably the most successful franchise in the MLB the last few years, so can't take it away from us. I love going to some minor league games. The Biloxi Shuckers are right here by us, and it's a good time to go to those games. So, trying to think if I'm missing anybody. I don't think I'm missing anything.
It's worth noting, if it wasn't already apparently obvious, we're all from Louisiana. Don't think we mentioned that. I'm sure all of y'all will be able to tell by the teams that we have as our favorites, and occasionally our accents might come out. But
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I'll say this: I always cheering for any athlete or any college from Louisiana, except for that team in Lafayette. We're not going to mess with them.
Don't speak of
little brother.
All right. Well, I'll say my favorite teams, and yeah, like Caleb said, we have some obvious teams here that kind of give it away. I'm from Louisiana. For me, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Baltimore Ravens, NFL.
Those are the obvious teams.
Yes. I'm a huge Formula One fan. That's very Louisiana based. Yeah, I'm just saying, one of those cars hit a pothole in Louisiana, it might explode. I mean, like
They won race in New Orleans, and all those cars are done for.
absolutely, dude. Tires are gonna go flying into the stands. I mean, it wouldn't be a pretty sight. I mean, they'd literally have to find 20 new drivers. All of them would probably die. I mean, it is.
If they could even drive down the road without getting
I bet the tire shops in New Orleans would be rich. Everyone was scrambling to go grab new tires.
Sport would be having a field day with all the claims he's going to be getting. But yeah, and no, like Peyton, I'm a big LSU fan and a Tulane fan as well. I went to school at Tulane for a little bit. Didn't go to school at LSU, but still a big supporter zone just because that's how I was born and raised. So yeah, roll wave and go Tigers. Pretty much anything from Louisiana, I'll support. Whether they're an athlete or a team, whatever they may be. I'm a big fan, and I'd say probably the biggest sports organization I'm a fan of is probably the New Orleans Pelicans. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's I know it's what I've chosen. I gotta stick with it.
The Fighting Mariah.
I mean, I'm sure everyone can tell how excited I am talking about the Pelicans, but yeah, it's another topic for another time. It's yeah, don't get me started. It's not going to be pretty.
What you mean, dude? We're winning it all this year.
I believe we can. I believe there's a solid chance. But obviously, the big question, one word, everyone knows it. Health.
Zion.
Oh yeah. OnlyFans. It's the big battle.
The Fighting Mariah Mills.
Yes. I mean, do you know how hard it is to get banned off of Twitter? It's actually not that hard. I mean, you just like a couple words you can say that trigger everything.
Elon took over.
Yeah, I know. Like if you talk.
Well, yeah, I should know all too well.
I mean, if you talk bad about Tesla at all, I mean, there's a chance not only you getting banned off of Twitter, but I don't know, you may not wake up in your own home the next day.
Won't ever have internet again.
There's a solid chance we joke, but hey, let's keep that talk on the down low before anything happens to us.
No kidding. Sorry, Elon.
Yeah, we love you, Elon. Yeah, you totally beat
Elon we trust.
I mean, no, that wouldn't even be close. And speaking of fights, I know we talked about it earlier, but yes, the BMF belt is on the line.
Honestly, I love both fighters. But I mean, dude, they're when either one of them fight, you're in for just a certified classic
watch
fight.
The first fight. I mean,
just beating the pulp out of whoever they're fighting. Man, it's going to be exciting. They both embrace chaos. Two of the better strikers in the UFC in a stacked division. I mean, let's throw it back to Gaethje's last fight, and nobody gave him a chance against Fiziev. I mean, he made him look average. If we're being honest, he looked really good. So it'll be pretty intriguing to see what Poirier has for Gaethje.
Hot sauce.
Yeah, just spray it in his eyes before the fight.
Polar style. But yeah, that's gonna be a good fight for sure. And Caleb, I don't think we talked about your favorite teams. While we have you here for this first episode, go ahead. Feel free to mention your favorite teams.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of the same. Being from Louisiana, of course, a big LSU fan. I'm definitely a Tulane fan as well. Would love to see them progress more and more every year. of course, I am also a New Orleans Saints fan. Hopefully, we can, start getting something going with
Carr the
them.
savior. Unbelievable.
We'll
Michael
see.
Thomas, save us, please.
If he can stay off the bench. And then I'm not too big into baseball, but I will say I do like the Cubs. And why you gotta judge?
You have opinions around here.
I don't know. Just, damn.
Yeah, sorry, the fighting trash can bangers over here. Can't be everyone's team.
And I am not really into hockey at all, but I'm trying to start. So I'm gonna take ZACK's and I'm gonna say the Maple Leafs because that's the team that I've been paying attention to try and get myself into hockey. So yeah, those are some of the teams that I'm most excited for.
The one thing you'll learn about Zach and I is we don't have a whole lot of similarities when it comes to sports. In terms of the teams we like, other than LSU and the Pelicans, but it's mostly like when I was picking a hockey team, I knew he was a Maple Leafs fan, and I started watching the playoffs and saw they were playing the Panthers, so I hopped on the Panthers bandwagon.
I made it out of the first round, so I have to say it's a pretty big step for us. I mean, I fell to my knees. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It's just one of those moments of the world. Like people remember where they were when they heard the news about 9/11. I mean, this is what I remember. It's one of my memories. It's one of my memories. I was just saying, it doesn't have to be like that. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying, you remember an event like that. It's such a big event. I mean, I was 2 years old when that happened. No, actually, not even my birthday, September 3rd. So I was, almost 2 anyways.
That's kind of like Tommy White's home run against Wake Forest. I know exactly what I was doing and where I was and what I did right after.
Yes, exactly. But no, that was a pretty big moment. But unfortunately, for sports, we were in what's known as the dog days. I mean, really, the only thing going on right now is
Tennis.
I mean, that and MLB. It's kind of
and even as big of an MLB fan as I am, it really is difficult to keep up with every single game. I mean, each team has 162 games, and I hate to say that the first half is meaningless because obviously every game means something, but it's just, I don't know, it's tough. But I don't know if the move is to shorten the season or what, but they're trying to grow the game, and I think they need to change some stuff up. I think they're on the right direction. Obviously, I think that scares a lot of people away is that they play so many games.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm like I said, I'm not really exactly a huge baseball fan, but I mean I do know the ins and outs of the sports. I mean I'm not a freaking idiot. I know there's 4 plates, right? Right? Is that how that works? Well, I mean, you call it home base or home plate?
It's home plate, but it's not first plate. It's first base, second base,
that's why I did say
base.
there's 4 bases. It's I mean, I'd say I don't know. Whatever. Okay, there's four little squares. There's four little things
points.
You got to run to in baseball. Whoop-de-doo, how fun! I grab my stick and whack a ball.
I mean, when you break it down like that, you can do it to any sport.
Okay, let me break it down to hockey. Let me grab a stick and hit a puck while skating on ice. You see, much more interesting than baseball already. Dude,
well, guys
I'm sorry. Look, the only thing interesting about baseball. Oh yeah, pause. The only thing interesting about baseball is those random highlights you see throughout the season where it's like, oh, dugout's cleared. Look at this. So 2 people got a butt hurt, and now they're fighting, and now the team's got to come defend themselves.
I feel like baseball is almost like an art at times, though. I mean, a guy's throwing 100 miles an hour at times.
I mean, it's impressive. I couldn't do it.
60 feet, 6 inches away, and people are actually hitting the ball. I mean, it's insane. So it's something you got to appreciate. Even if you're not a fan, you do have to appreciate the skill level that it takes to play that sport at a high level, I should say.
No, there's definitely skill required.
As there is in any sport. I'm not discrediting anybody.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I couldn't do it, and I mean, I probably couldn't even do softball.
We know.
Okay. Anyways, all right. Well, I'd say that was a healthy amount of sports, but tell you what. Well, to wrap it up here, let's have our first debate, I should say. Let's I'm going to do an easy one here for all of us, and it's who's the greatest of all time in the NBA? Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is pretty obvious. But I'm gonna let y'all speak first. See what y'all think.
My answer is probably going to be a little bit different than most people think.
I mean, I'm going to go with the obvious here. Michael Jordan, for sure. I don't know if that's where you were headed, Zach, but yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, Kobe and LeBron, even though I've got my own issues with them, but I mean, they're great players, but I don't think they come up to Jordan's caliber.
Yeah, I think the mentality of Jordan definitely sets him and LeBron apart. I just personally, I don't feel like LeBron has that killer instinct that Kobe and Michael had, and I'm not gonna put Kobe ahead of LeBron just because I don't think he was quite as skilled as LeBron. Obviously, I mean, an incredible basketball player and one of the greatest of all time, surefire, first ballot Hall of Famer. So I don't mean to speak ill on his name, but I would say LeBron is ahead of him for me. But my number one is probably different than a lot of people. I'm gonna go Wilt Chamberlain, and the reason I say that is I kind of go by eras. I know he may not have been playing the caliber of players that they're playing now, that are playing now, I should say. However, to me, to be dominant in that, as dominant as he was in his era, is impressive. Now everybody has the same, the access to the same analytics, the same practices, the same technology, maybe even a role player nowadays would be able to dominate that era, but he was just such an anomaly in his era that I'm gonna say that was the most impressive to me. And then I have Michael. I'll just give you all my top five. So it's Wilt, Michael, Kareem, LeBron, Kobe. Honorable mention, Dirk.
Solid list.
Yeah, I didn't ask for all of that, but I do appreciate it. And it's funny. It's funny you mentioned Wilt Chamberlain. I don't know, because I know all the time you talk about how playing against plumbers pretty much just negates any kind of accolade, any kind of title, record, whatever it may be. So I think it's interesting. I guess you've changed your tone, but
when have I said that?
You said it multiple times, my friend. You call people.
I think we're talking about like present day plumbers.
Oh no,
dude. I mean, I've kept the same mentality for a few years. Yeah.
That's just straight. I'm not sure. I cannot tell you how many times you said like we'll be talking about older type players, and you could pretty much negate any of their, like I said, awards, I should say.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
I mean, I want an example of when I've said that.
But dude, I can't remember, but I know you've called older people plumber. Like, or nigga, obviously you haven't called Wilt Chamberlain a plumber, but you've called the competition that he's played against plumbers. Because, basketball was at the time, such a young sport. At the end of the day, not many people played it. Not many people were that good at it. And obviously the rules were a little different back then, And I mean, even the courts were
But I think
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I think being that advanced in that era where nobody else was, I mean, like, the skill gap between Wilt and the second best player was absolutely massive. I mean, it was probably Bill Russell, if I had to imagine.
Just how uncompetitive
Bill
the NBA
Russell was great. I mean,
who today could score 100 points in a game?
Wilt. Honestly, I mean, I do think there are players that could do it, but that would require just a selfish game of basketball to be played. I do think LeBron could do it. I think Giannis Antetokounmpo could do it. I think Devin Booker could do it. I'm trying to think of some other premier scorers. I know LeBron's not a scorer by heart, but I do think he has the capability of doing something like that. Maybe not Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Definitely not Jaylen Brown.
Max on the way.
I don't know, man. It's kind of up in the air. They reported it as a done deal, but I mean, it still hadn't gotten done. So, nothing's ever official until you sign that dotted line. But I do think there are multiple players that could score 100 in a game, and I think it's just a different game of basketball being played nowadays. Will I just called him my goat, but I'll keep it a buck with you. I mean, he was a very selfish player. I mean, he pretty much said, "Give me the ball, get out the way," and he went to work. He knew his own strengths. I gotta respect it.
I'd do the same if I was playing against guys who just got off their 8 to 5. But
so you call him a stat pattern?
Oh, absolutely.
Russell Westbrook. I'm kidding. I love Russell Westbrook, by the way, guys. Love Russ.
What a shame, the downfall.
Not current day Russ.
Not current day Russ. Serious for him. I feel bad.
Russell Westbrook in OKC was just an unbelievable player to watch.
Yes, absolutely. He is definitely a spectacle. But no, I can respect the Wilt Chamberlain take, and obviously, I was just trying. You definitely have called people plumbers, present day and in the olden days.
I mean, dude.
Everyone else calls them plumbers.
You can't tell me Mason. I mean, you can't tell me Mason Plumlee isn't like just. Well, he wasn't born to be a plumber if he didn't make it to the NBA. It's literally in his name.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess I really can't argue with that. That's a solid argument. But I appreciate the different take. I appreciate you trying to be different.
Mason Plumlee catching straight.
Yeah, but like I said, I appreciate you going the Wilt Chamberlain route because not a lot of people do, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's not the greatest of all time. It's Michael Jordan. I mean, it's just I really don't even have.
If we're going just pure skill level, I will say Michael Jordan, but. Like I said, I have a little bit of a different ranking system than a lot of people.
Yeah,
so.
I think Wilt is top 5, but I don't think he's.
Yeah, first. I mean, absolutely. And I also look into the fact that I'm not going to say Michael Jordan single-handedly put the NBA on the map, but in a time where the NBA was struggling to garner attention, get all these viewers and stuff. I mean, Michael Jordan came in, this hot prospect out of North Carolina, and He did put the NBA on the map. I mean, he was doing, these crazy dunks.
Absolutely changed the game.
He was
inspired so many players.
I'm not going to say he was a Larry Bird level trash talker, but he was looking at people, closing his eyes, shooting free throws and draining them. And
all I got to say is shoot it, you midget.
And granted, obviously the argument is that, Michael won't have won all of his rings without Scotty, Rodman. All that.
But you need a good team. I know that's a whole other discussion. But you do need a good team around you in the NBA, or at least a quality team. You can't win.
Look at the Nuggets.
Lack of a better word, plumbers
look at the recent champion, the Nuggets. I mean, at the end of the day, they're the blueprint of what most fans want their team to be. At the end of the day, they were riddled with injuries in the past. Viral videos of their players going around. I had to throw it in there, but looking at you, Jamal Murray, and
Harper.
And anyways, but I mean, at the end of the day, they have that one superstar player in Jokic who can, he is the ultimate team player. He doesn't have to score 30, 40 points for the team to win because he's got a good team around him. They traded for the right pieces. They let their players develop. And, I mean, look, they won a championship, and they won it pretty easily.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the last few champions, I mean, it's kind of been the same story, even with the Warriors. Kevon Looney, not this past year, obviously, but the year before when they won the championship, I mean, he was absolutely massive for them, down low, grabbing boards, scoring even in the finals. You have your superstar Steph Curry. You got four rings, Clay, Draymond playing great defense, but mostly Clay and Draymond at this point in their careers are just role players, and Steph's your stud. And then the Bucks, Giannis, Chris, Lopez, Drew.
Oh boy,
we love Drew around here, but just really solid teams all around it. It's really good to see that in the NBA instead of just stacked teams like. I'm not going to say I hate them, but the Suns, I'm not a big fan of the Suns, being that they just pick up anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you have a big name doesn't mean that the team's going to be good.
That's also, especially recently, the new owners just trying to, let their nuts hang and say, oh, look what we can do. I mean, anyone can go over the salary cap if the owners wanted to. Looking at you, Gail Benson.
Oh, yeah.
But, anyway,
but yeah, it's good to see those just solid quality deep teams win over super teams. I feel like it's kind of a refreshing look for the NBA.
Yeah, name me one bench player from the Suns. 5 seconds. Exactly. Okay, fair enough. He just signed. Lucky, but
campaign from last year. I'll say that.
He campaigned last year. What?
Wasn't he a bench player last year?
Who's campaigning?
This dude here,
I'll always keep coming.
But your take on Michael.
Go ahead.
Your take on Michael Jordan is kind of how I feel about steroids in baseball, man. Bring them back. I mean, the game was never bigger than it was when we had Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa.
I don't know much about baseball, but I know.
Ooh, man, Barry Bonds, greatest player of all time. No discussion there. I know y'all don't know baseball, but there's no discussion. Barry Bonds, put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, right next to Bryce Harper. All right, anyway, so we'll wrap that up right there. And we'll wrap this episode up, actually, keep it shorter than the rest of our episodes just to kind of get everyone a good introduction of us. And once again, thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our very first episode. And a round of applause to you all for sitting through that. I know it may not have been the prettiest thing, but hey, look, we're here to, gain experience. We're going to get better at this. And, if you start listening to us right now, again, so you can listen to us grow as a group, as a podcast. Go ahead. I don't care. I was trying to do a nice wrap up. No, please. Go ahead.
I was going to say we're going to be much more prepared in the next few episodes than we are tonight. We'll have a lot better structure.
I'm afraid to talk again. I'm probably going to get interrupted. But anyways, thank you for listening to us. And you can tune in, like I said, to wherever you usually stream your podcast from. Listen to your music, Apple Podcasts. You can't listen to music there, but you get my point. Spotify, YouTube. We plan on expanding from those as well. Like I said, we're going to be trying to be everywhere that a normal podcast would be. Once again, follow Sport of Sonic, follow the EZPZ show on, all of our social medias. Help us out. You can listen to us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the most part, unless stated otherwise. And, obviously, if you couldn't tell, we're going to be recording the night before. So, forgive us if we're not on top of breaking news. Like, you only have yourself to blame if you've listened to us at 2 p.m. and something, huge happened at 9 a.m. that day. Obviously, we're recording the night before. So we're not going to catch all that stuff. But, hey, that's what the next recording session's for. So we can catch that stuff. Mondays will probably generally be our recap of the weekend. Our Fridays will be a look ahead into the weekend. And Wednesdays will probably be good, middle of the road, see what's happened in the week thus far up to then, and kind of give a look ahead into what's happening the rest of the week. And that'll be a good day to talk about our fantasy, our bets we got going on for the week. What's been going on in the sports world, so on and so forth. And that's about it. Once again, thank you everyone for listening. Gentlemen, y'all have anything to say? Feel free to say it now.
Nope, I think I'm good.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where this goes, and make sure y'all tune in and buckle up.
Yes, absolutely. Once again, thank you, everyone. Please keep tuning in. Thank you. Peace out.